True. Yeah.
People think because they're in the gym and they work out and then they can eat more because they're active. So a lot of times I found that with those people, it's better just to be honest up front. You might lose the sale, but I guarantee they're going to appreciate you. Even if they go to another gym because they didn't like your answer, we've had a lot of people come back and say, man, Red, you was right. I messed up and I wasted 3 months.
Yeah.
And somebody took my money. And it's the truth. I see it. I'd rather be real with you and you be mad at me for telling you the truth than sell you a dream.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Local Service Podcast, episode 33, I believe. And today we have a reoccurring guest for the first time, our boy, Red from Redzone. And yeah, man, thank you so much for coming back. How are you?
Blessed, man. It's good to be back. I'm loving the new office. So, yeah, I'm liking the new office. So, yeah, it's good to be back. Y'all the GOATs.
Appreciate that. Thank you. Interesting comment. Thank you. And so today with this podcast, as you guys know, we like to talk about local services, what businesses do to manage their business, grow their business, maintain their business. So I because we've already gone through your story, kind of just want to get more of your takes on things.
Gotcha.
And so I have a little book here with notes, but before we go there, like, what's the general update with Redzone and your business and how things are going? Any changes you have made, the goods, the bads? Are you already moving into a new building? You know,
the changes this year have been, I would say, kind of drastic just because just this year alone, let me pull this up, just this year alone, we've had to buy a lot of equipment. And that's a good problem because we were having growing pains. We moved into a new building, then we got new members, and then didn't have enough equipment. So it's been good, man. I say it's been a lot of learning, but also I'll get to later. But since March, we've really seen some numbers, some numbers thanks to Symphony Advertising. but for real, but it's been a lot of, growing pains, but also learning from those lessons, and no complaint on the learning is just part of the game.
Right. And so that is one of my questions, actually. Mm-hmm. So you are in a business that requires equipment to keep people happy, to keep people coming back. And from my experience, actually, like, you purchase equipment a lot more often than I think anybody I know, to be honest. Like, I've gone to gyms that they've stayed the same for like a year, and then maybe they added a piece or two. I've been at this one gym for a while now, been the same. Not that there's good or bad. Maybe they made the right purchases in the beginning, but what's your story or reasoning why you're constantly upgrading or switching out?
That's a good point, because a lot of gyms and now, personally, the independent gym game, it's crucial. You got to come with it. It's not just your garage and squat racks anymore. You have to stay on top of your game. A lot of the big gyms in the city, they have, and like I say, kudos to these guys, because from the start they have a great layout. For me, I call it getting it out the mud, because I had to get the building. Then once the revenue started coming in, add as I go. So that's mainly what it is for me. But now, since the members are awesome, trainers are awesome, everything's going good, I'm reinvesting more and more. So instead of it just going all in the pocket, we're constantly reinvesting, getting new equipment. And like I say, I'm frugal, but I say I do a lot of auctions, and a lot of us local gym owners, like, we, will sell equipment to each other. So a couple of gym owners, specifically, I buy a lot of equipment from them. So it helps save that cost. So, open the gym, keep on improving and reinvesting, because without the members, we will be nothing.
Good points. How does that part feel? Like, a chunk of cash, right, essentially, comes in and you have it, which is hard enough to get.
Oof.
To make the decision of, okay, I want to upgrade the equipment, or I want to add equipment. And kind of like, I guess in a way, what is your advice on, okay, you have revenue coming in. How do you decide, do I keep 50%? Do I invest all of it back? How do you manage? Because the cash flow for you is a little bit different than, for sure, my business.
Yeah.
How do you manage that? Are you just working off of gut? Or do you have spreadsheets that are like, all right, if I buy this, I'll get it back in 6 months, or like, how do you even make those decisions?
So crazy. Back in the first gym, that was just all gut. And it just was, trial and error. Now, I hired my CPA in the first gym. Pretty much that's like, I call it like having an extra mom, because she pretty much tells you yes or no. And I'm the type of person, I'm impulsive. So my CPA's position in the company now is very important, because I want everything. If I see it on Instagram, I want to go buy it right now. But with her in the first gym, if it wasn't for her, and seriously, if it wasn't for her, I probably wouldn't have been able to move into this other gym, because I just would have kept on buying instead of just being able to be patient. So definitely now I have a certain amount to reinvest, and that's all I can do. But with that certain amount, I personally, I'm frugal. I've been able to grow because I look for the deals. So it might be a gym owner that hit me up and they like, hey, I have this piece for $2,000. I'm going to buy that instead of paying $5,000 new. So, and there's nothing wrong with buying new. Just for my lane, what I like to do, I find the deals, and that's how I've been able to grow and keep on having more equipment for a great price, and then also able to improve on other things. So, really, it's just spreadsheets. I know what I need to do, because now, like I said, it's a ton of moving parts, and if it's just me, I would might be bankrupt, because I want to buy everything today. Thanks to her, is major.
I would like to touch a little bit more on the frugal part, because that as a business owner is good. I would say like that's just, if you naturally come that way, that's good. But like, can you speak on a personal level? Like, have you always been frugal? Did you become frugal? And if you could, if you feel okay, like, are you always frugal? Are there moments where you're like, I worked hard this year, I'm just going to do something crazy? Because again, like, this is amongst business owners. We take on more responsibility. We risk a little bit more. Obviously, there should be something on the other side,
No, it's facts.
Like, talk about the personality frugalness, and then, like, are you always frugal?
Crazy. I tell everybody the struggle made me frugal, because I was one of those people. I didn't have it. I did it what you call gut. That gut will get you in trouble, because you see, and you want, and then you won't have anything to fall back on if something happens. So, no, I have not always been frugal. I used to make horrible money decisions, but what made me not frugal is, one, like I say, getting a team, getting a team to handle and help me, guide me, tell me what I can do in black and white. So when you see it, because in a business, anybody, especially since you talk to a lot of entrepreneurs and businesses, you might have 10, 20, 30 thousands in your account or whatever. So it might look great when you're buying this, and that. But if you don't have a plan or, a goal, and seeing, like your return and all that, you will fail.
Yeah.
And I learned that the hard way. So
have you ever been close?
Our first, I talk about it. Actually, I never talked about it on air, like as far as officially on Instagram, but Apex failed. That was my first gym.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like, technically?
Yeah.
Or actually?
Apex failed. That's why, yeah.
Do tell.
Yeah, I'll say. And it just was, we were all, I had partners with our first gym, but we didn't have a CPA. We all had different visions, but also the money we didn't have a plan. We just like, okay, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. It was no plan. It just was always just going with the flow. And it failed. We didn't even have members. Yeah. We just had everybody, it got to a point to where we just had each of our training clients, and they just were paying us to train, and we're just paying out of pocket for different things that came along. So without that structure and plan, you will fail. And I've been through that firsthand.
Would you say that was could you have skipped that lesson?
Oh, yeah, honestly.
Or is it inevitable in a way?
For me personally, I needed that lesson. I needed that firsthand failure, because it made Redzone, when I was ready to actually do my own brand, I knew what I needed to do by failing in real time. Just by failing before, because I don't think if I would have had that, if everything just would have worked, I think I just would have kept on doing it. To be honest with you, that's just how I operate, instead of having someone and learning the structures, learning exactly what you need to know. And also a big thing people don't like to do in their business, it hurts, but take that constructive criticism, because nothing is perfect. even now, it's things that I need to improve on, and all you can do is take that feedback and improve. My first gym, I thought everything was perfect. We didn't have a dang street sign. We didn't even no waivers. Yeah, it wasn't
No waivers.
Oh yeah, no waivers. Yeah, just
So, yeah, it could have been way worse, I guess.
and yeah, so it just was different things I had to learn, and I didn't want to hear anything because I thought my way was the best way, which it wasn't the best way. But when you're working, in a business, you always have to be willing to learn because you have to be able to adapt. Just like the independent gyms from when we started, kind of like lifting 10 to 15 years ago to now, you know, nobody cares about just a squat rack in a garage. Independent gyms now,
Yeah,
they got it.
boutique.
Yeah, like I have to steadily come with it. Like I have people that's like, oh, like when I just got the sauna, that's like, oh, you don't have a sauna? I'm like Jesus Christ. We used to get kudos just for having a complete dumbbell set. But now, shout out to all the independent gyms in the city, man, because y'all are making everyone stay on their toes. It's motivation. So I love it.
Do you find that the commercial gym goer is not a independent gym goer, or what is your just general thought on that crowd, those two audiences?
From what I see, a lot of times people go with the commercial gyms or have a commercial gym membership because, just being honest, that's a big corporation and they have everything from showers to sauna, just that for $20 a month. So I don't like to separate the two because people still now, fitness is in, like it's been in. So a lot of most of the people that come to my gym have a commercial gym membership. The only reason I always separate the two is just because I sympathize with the gym owner because I know what it takes to get the doors open. And anybody, regardless if I know them personally or not, kudos, because it's not easy. And you spend a crap ton of money before you get anything back. So kudos to them because, like I said, you have to sacrifice a lot unless you just got it like that.
How did you learn? Like you said, you went through that lesson of like not managing it correctly, gym failed. But how did you become frugal? Like, did it just hurt so bad that you're like, I'm not messing up again? Like, how did you transition into being frugal?
Crazy. I hired just Instagram and social media only takes you so far because you only see people's success. So what I did, had a client, and man, I remember she was like, yeah, I'm going to charge you X amount of dollars a session. I'm just like, man, I'm not hiring her. She was a business coach, by the way. And I'm just like, man, that's just ridiculous. So time went by, like per session, she was charging more than I was charging per month for training. She's a very expensive woman. Anyways, fast forward, I'm still doing the same stuff. I'm having the same problems. I'm bumping my head at the same time. So I'm over and over again, like same mistake. I'm like, I'm wasting time. So anyways, hired her as a business coach. And man, she just elevated me to new levels. Like we would spend not just an hour, but this stuff was literally very expensive. But she was well worth it. It paid me back times 100.
Yeah, wow.
I can tell you that. And that's who actually hooked me up with my CPA. So shout out to Maven, Myra the Maven, and also my CPA, which is Alicia, MNB Services. Those two women right there really changed Redzone.
Wow, okay.
Because it turned from a hustle to an actual business because the back end wasn't right at first. And once I hired her as a business coach, it was like going to college, literally, for business because we spent not just a day together, hours.
Yeah. Yeah, and a common theme that I've come across with business owners is like there's a start, and that is usually the person. And then as you grow, it's like you're not really the person. You are the person, like you are the center per se. Yeah. But the way you grow is by like other people's insights, other people's experiences, or even when you hire people, it's like they help you with things you can't do. It's like you become a collector of people, kind of, as a skill almost. Because if you didn't, like you learn, like, okay, maybe let me just try the business coach. Oh, crap, it helped. Oh, crap, she referred me. Okay, now you're at a different level. So, like.
It was, I say that's a very good point because that's the point I reached at the first location to where I was the center. If you knew Redzone, it was only about, me. And I wanted to change that within the first, like we opened 2020 as on Redzone. I wanted to change that immediately. So then we had, of course, we had Kobe, Tom, George at the time. We had all these trainers right there. And I was like, if we build a team, we're unstoppable because you can only help so many people. But if you build a team, that is sky's the limit. And when we built that, like a team, like now, we have 16 trainers at the gym, and I don't hardly train anyone anymore. But when I'm getting at a great front desk team, great group of trainers, it's like you're creating a dynasty. And now, they're not just coming to Redzone to see Red. They're coming to the gym, one, because they like the gym, but they also have a person that they can trust and a relationship, and it feels like their safe place. So that was always big for me to have that service, too, to when you come in the gym that you just feel like, because, we're kind of known as a bodybuilding gym. So, you're going to see some intimidating factors in there if it's your first time gym goer. But I make it a point for my team and myself. We speak to everybody. We might not even, remember their name, but if it's my first time seeing, I'm making sure I greet you because it's that Southern hospitality, and that's what I want, because I remember still what it feels like to go to the gym on my first day, and everybody's looking at me like, who's this skinny dude is curling in the squat rack? But seriously, like, nobody spoke to me like for the first month in 24-hour fitness back in the day.
Have you been to a commercial gym?
Yeah, actually, I go to a commercial gym. Still have Fitness Connection. I've had it forever.
Really?
Yeah.
Is what, $10 a month, something like that?
Oh, still. And that's what I say. Like, I still have it because, like, that's my gym where I go to, and people got, like, I work out, it relieves stress. So, like, that's my gym I go to just to literally, I don't have to talk to anyone. I just come in there and get my business done and go, because at my own gym, I love my Redzone members. I love my staff, but I'm going to get sidetracked doing my workout. So sometimes I will go to Fitness Connection just to give me a quick 30, 40 minutes in, and I'm done. So it helps out, it helps out a lot.
On that note, so this is a weird question. Mm-hmm. So do you, with fitness, I mean, obviously it's, maybe not obviously, let's take that back. Mm-hmm. Like, that's kind of your life. Mm-hmm. You work out, your business is around business. Mm-hmm. Everything's about getting more fit.
Yeah.
As a sport or as a hobby, whatever you want to call it, like, do you still personally, like, really enjoy working out?
Man, crazy. I get asked this question a lot because they was like, you're in the gym all day, then you leave and go to another gym. Do you?
Yeah, that's a lot of gym
leave
life.
Your gym and go
training,
to,
you're making videos.
So, man, if I didn't love it, I couldn't do it. So I try to replicate my love for, fitness, just like not as a gym owner, for fitness to our members and clients, because you got to really want it in order to achieve your goal. Everybody's goal is not to have a six-pack. Some people might just be in there for the mental. I know for the longest, I'll eat personal. I was eating like crap, but running every day helped me out mentally. Like when I was going through like I was running my butt off. Like when my grandmother sick, when she was sick before she passed, it just was the mental of, I was eating like crap and everything. However, just getting in the gym, being able to blow off some steam, it was better than, like I always tell people, if you're going through depression or you're going through something, come bang some iron around. Get on that treadmill, go run outside, because you can, instead of going to a bar or just, drowning your sorrows away, go be productive and get a workout in. And it sounds cliche, but it's true. Like, it really, and people at my gym can attest, like, I was in that bad boy when I was going through that, because that was a tough point. But yeah, I love it. Like, yeah. And you gotta, like, and that's one other thing, like I said, I think because we have so much success, because myself and my team included, like, we love what we do, and not just talking about trainers, but we enjoy working out. Like, that's literally. Awesome. Yeah. So you have to be able to replicate that, because people can feel like, you go to somewhere, like, use Walmart example, guys hate their job.
Yeah.
But
or it's disingenuous. Yeah. Like, I don't care about this
like,
section of the
aisle. But no, I genuinely, love it. Like, and I go through different phases. Even you can attest to this, to where you might see me where I'm running a lot. You might see me where I'm on my weight phase, hitting a lot. I like every journey, because I can relate to each one of my members, because everybody don't like to lift weights.
And so that's actually like a good, maybe you didn't see this coming, because I didn't, but it's here now. It's the whole, like, how fitness helps with mental, with being good up here.
Yeah.
Is that something that you guys, like, intentionally, like you mentioned, like, hey, if you're sad or whatever, it's better to lift weights? Or do you keep it more like, we're a body like
building?
Yeah.
No, I like I want that everyday person that just wants to come in and, lift weights or treadmill. But what I'm getting at, we want everyone, because the main deal, what I tell people is, I love bodybuilding because it's something I like to do, and a lot of my trainers do it. But however, you look at everything that you see online, because everybody's on some type of social media. You see so many people that you think was happy and they were really going through something. Especially these days, like I feel like the genuineness of a lot of things is going out. Everybody is trying to portray who they want to be. I see it all the time. But what I'm getting at is we preach mental a lot. And when I say mental, like, get in here, do it because you want to do it, make yourself happy. And I've had some times where even, I had a client that they might not always see eye to eye with me, but they know that I mean well for them. Like, especially my AM clients, because I might come in on 10. I was like, it might come in on 10, but.
What is that, like full?
Oh, yeah, I'm full speed, because if you're waking up at 4 in the morning and all that, you need to get in here and you mean business. So I always remember, like, that's like if you came to me and you tell me what you want to do. Your word is your bond, so let's get your goal done. So.
And, okay, so what – this is now, like, within the people you train, people who go to your gym, like, there are people like us, I mean, more you, but like us, that we like to exercise. It's just part of our day.
Oh, you love it, man.
Yeah, like, I feel like I'm going to explode if I don't. Like, I feel like I just have to let something out. I don't know what it is, but I got to get it out the way. For the people that do you find that there are people that don't enjoy working out?
Oh yeah. Trust me, that's why they hire trainers. That's
so how does that part work? Like, so people end up doing it anyways?
So people end up doing it, but then before people will respect you more, you might lose out on a sale. I just told a lady this 2 weeks ago before she joined the 8-week challenge. Yeah, before she joined the 8-week challenge. She was like, yeah, I'm just hoping that you could help me lose this weight because I hate coming to the gym. That was her exact words. And I told her straight up, I was like, don't sign up, because just because you signed up and you come to the gym doesn't mean that you're going to actually have the discipline and put in the work to get to where you want to be. And I don't want to be at the same. And I told her, I say straight up, I was like, as a man of integrity and being real with you, I say, I don't want you to, pay this money. And then 2 weeks down the line, you was like, you told me I was going to lose weight. So I'm telling. So I say, only thing I can guarantee you, I say, if you keep this attitude, you will not lose weight. Like, for real, like, you will not lose weight. So yes, to answer your question, I do get those people, but I tell them from the start that you gotta, you gotta put in, you gotta put in something, because just if you just come here and just say you here and post on Instagram or tag on Facebook, you gonna be the same. You might be heavier when you leave. Because you think that you're working out that you can eat more. I see that too.
Oh, true. Yeah.
People think because they're in the gym and they work out and then they can eat more because they're active. So a lot of times I found that with those people, it's better just to be honest up front. You might lose the sale, but I guarantee they're going to appreciate you. Even if they go to another gym because they didn't like your answer. We've had a lot of people come back and say, man, Red, you was right. I messed up and I wasted 3 months.
Yeah.
And somebody took my money. And it's the truth. I see it. I'd rather be real with you and you be mad at me for telling you the truth than sell you a dream.
And I suppose there's the opposite side too. You're hard with somebody and they're like, damn, he's right. Like, if I'm good, because ultimately it is on the person. Like, you can only you can only show and provide the equipment and the instructions. But and that's what's great. That's why I like working out. It's like nobody can do it for you. Like, the person literally has to do it.
And I preach it all the time. I was like, if you can get consistent in the gym, I was like, I'm telling you, things outside of the gym will start to get better. And like, even with myself, when I get on my grind, like now I'm waking up earlier just to work out. I'm more productive throughout the day. And I tell all my people that I was like, you're going to be more organized, you're going to plan more, and you're going to, not at first, but you're going to end up having more energy just because your meals are planned, you're drinking more water, you're not going out. My main deal, I actually did a question, the Instagram story questions. Out of 30 people who answer, 26 out of 30 people, I was like, what's your problem, in the gym? It's like nutrition. Everybody's problem is eating. Most of the time, it ain't getting to the gym. It's what they do outside the gym. And the older you get, the more work you got to put in and the harder it is. So I like to be real with people. And now that we're growing, we have to make sure that we tighten up our operation as far as like, we're not just, getting, somebody's, from school that we went to school with or somebody like that. We're getting like regular people off the street.
Yeah.
And that honesty goes far. They'll appreciate it, and they'll always, they'll come back, or at least they'll send somebody. So
you mentioned the word growing. This is a good segue into
yeah.
into what I actually don't know. Okay, so number one, I don't do these things to like put you on the spot and like, oh, well, how has it helped? Like, this is not the intention. Like, it just so happens that will help with SEO and Google Ads and website, and so it's something that we started back in March.
Mm-hmm.
So,
man,
how's it gone?
I can tell you the world. I remember, I don't even care about. I remember when you told me, he was like, man, what should you start with? He was like, man, start with like, I don't even know what you said. I think it was 500 or 400. I was like, on Google alone? I was like, that's ridiculous because, you can't see it. And then.
You mean budget-wise?
Yeah, budget-wise. So, like, that's just, throwing it, because I had been doing, the most I ever did before that was maybe $75 on Facebook Market. And I just like, and that was a stretch. I was like, $75. Anyways. Once we met, and then, I can tell you this hands down. When you redid the website, I thought our website was great. And when you redid the website, like, we got like some good traction just from our trainers. Like, oh man, it was like, who did that? So that helped, just the layout alone. And then the biggest thing that you did was when you listed the equipment, you don't know how many times that people tell me, oh, I looked up what kind of equipment that you have. I thought, like, when you text me, I was like, I was like, for what? I was like, whatever. But I was like, I'll get you a list. Anyways, fast forward, I think the first 2 months, I just was amazed. Like, just the amount of calls that we started getting, the traction that we started getting, like actual, and not just traction, but people actually just, like, we got a guy, like, I remember the first time we got somebody, it was like 3 people. I was like, oh, how did you hear about us? He was like, oh, Google. I'm like, oh, he was like, yeah, we just searched up gym. I was like, oh, wow. So that was cool. And then April came, we renewed. Same thing. April and then May, it just started hitting. I was like, and so we asked people, and I was like, are you coming off of Google? Because also, like I said, I'm frugal. I want to see, okay, what I'm putting in, what are we getting out? Then we started closing memberships, personal training. I'm like, okay. And then, June was just, man, that was crazy. So, yeah, your advertising definitely works, and it's just the thing I like about you. You put it in black and white, and when I say black and white, you tell me exactly what I need to do. You don't, any budget that I've ever given you, you can work with it. You just kind of advise, like, hey, this is what you should be doing. If you can do it, do this. And then a lot of times, like, I've dealt with I don't know what to call it, but I've never hired anyone officially. But anyways, I've dealt with advertising agencies, and they're not punctual at all. Every time if I email you or text you, you get back in the same day and with an answer, not just like, oh, we'll see what we can do. And everything you've done, like you said, dude, it's worked. And that was a game changer, like getting that. That's what I wanted. We've been blessed to have good social media presence, but I wanted that, how you walk into, like, just being honest, like the corporate gyms, like when you search gym, Gold's Gym or Planet Fitness pops up first. And now when you're searching, like, gym in the area, we were popping up first, but we're still, like, right there, because we still get, like, I don't know what you did on Google. Y'all better hire this man. But we're getting people that just call us, they don't even know if it's named Redzone. That's the crazy thing. They just like, hey, 24/7 gym? Yes. Schedule them, come in. And, yeah, like, so the whole marketing side, we had never done that. But in order to elevate and go to the next step, I knew that we had to start budgeting, and not just budgeting in on equipment, but also getting the traffic in, and not just aiming towards one, like, style of client to, like, come through the door. Because sometimes it's bad. And I just told a good friend that owns a small studio gym this. I was like, sometimes you can get lost in the sauce, like, on Instagram, because you want all these high level, like, as far as not high level, that's the wrong term, but like people that have a lot of followers to come through, and they don't pay the bills. You're just your average people that's right in front of you. That's what's gonna keep your lights on. So, and that's what I had to kind of learn, not just getting these people that have a lot of, followers in the gym, but actually getting to building a community and pouring back into them. And when I say pouring back into them, that's when you putting the budget into, your equipment. That's when you're doing, like, hosting, like, even the free boot camps. That's free every week. If we close the membership, that's great. But if not, that's okay with us. We just want the exposure. We just want to help. So that advertising, that was I was not on board, but I kept on looking at your videos, and I'm looking into your professionalism. That's what kind of caught me, because a lot of people, when you're friends before, you don't get that level of service. But your service is always right. Like, our friendship in the business is like separate. You keep it straight business on that. And then if we want to joke around, that's separate. That's what I like, because sometimes when you sign up with a friend, and be like, oh, I can put him on the back burner because he a homie. I'm going to get to this other person first. But everything you told me, y'all are, yeah. That's why I stayed. I ain't going nowhere every month.
Yeah, well, kudos to you, though. What's the difference? Because, so you're saying all your members or your new memberships back then, literally a couple months ago, were all word of mouth and through social media?
Correct.
So what is the difference between that and Google ads and just being found online organically?
That's a good question. You have to be on the social media and word of mouth part. Like I said, I keep on shouting out my members and clients because they do an awesome job. They really, our Redzone family promotes for the gym. So usually when our members were selling it, man, they were already just coming in and signing up because they already knew you got your homegirl. She already been to the gym.
They
she already know.
vouch.
However, it's with the organic and all that from Google, that's really made us get on our game because
It's different.
it's different.
It's not a layup anymore.
Yeah, they might have just came from Gold's Gym, or they might have just came from a gym down the street. So you really have to make sure that you're on your A game. So by getting that type of traffic, it was great for us because it made us also step up our game even more, down to just operations at the front desk. I think when you first came in there, when I first signed up, that's why you saw, I was like, I never worked the front desk at the gym ever.
I see now. That makes sense.
I was like, I can't tell my front desk what to do if I've never worked it. Because I'm, if I'm just like, I'm like that guy that never done the job, and I'm telling you should be doing this, you should be doing this. So I was like, okay, I worked at the front desk full time just so I could see, one, what we're missing, what we're doing wrong, and just from I'm bringing back to the service, just from having that level of service when somebody comes in, just a simple greet. Not being too pushy, but also before we even talk about, revenue or anything like that, like money, I'm giving you a tour. I'm showing you around, making you feel comfortable. Then, come back in and, tell you what your price options are. But it made me step up my game. So therefore that I could tell my staff, hey, this what works, this what doesn't. And then also same with them. It might have been something I had in place, but like, hey, I find that this, works better. So it was a definitely learning experience, but we had to step up our game quick because if you don't catch them, they're going down the street.
Yeah. Dude, that's what's crazy about your type of business. Like the gym membership business is like everyone, you could argue that everyone who comes in has a membership. Like people jump from one to another.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I am. I am literally a leaper between gyms. That's just my style. I like to switch it up. But in your business, it's like you have like a window and it's very small.
Oh, yeah.
Because, if a person's happy, they're not going to leave. Maybe they have two gyms, sure. Maybe they live on that side of town and they have
we get a lot of that.
You get a commercial one where they can get one everywhere, which is awesome. Yeah. But, like, to your point, like, you do have to come up with your A game. When someone calls and they don't know about you, what's your pitch? What is the sales process? Yeah. What do you present to them? And the whole not being too pushy thing, dude, that is, I am amazed. So I have two scenarios. When we were shopping for a car a while ago, dude, oh my God, like, relax. Calm down. I'm going to leave just because you're making me feel weird. Like, go away. I'm going to buy. And I get it. Like, they have to capitalize on their opportunities. But, like, I'm going to buy the damn car. It might not be from you guys. So you guys are crazy. Yeah. That's one scenario. And then this weekend, I went to a new pet store. I had 1 foot in the door. Hi, thank you for coming in. Would you like to? What are you looking for? What can I help you find? It's like, whoa! Like I'm in a pet store. I'm probably here for dog food or cat food. Like, relax. And they were just like over, and there was like 4 of them. Just like, can we help you find that? And the store was like,
I probably would have left.
It wasn't that big. I mean, it luckily that's why location matters too. Sometimes the location you could be awful. Oh. And location wise, it's like, well, it's right there.
It matters a crap ton. Yeah. That definitely matters, but
but that pushiness, like there's a finesse, like even like for me, I've noticed, I think I've always been this way though. I'm like, hey, if you'd like to move forward, let us know. As you grow too, like as you go from, you only have 5 clients to 500 to 1,000, like the level of like, we need you changes, You're That's like, true. Hey, if you'd like to, you can. But
Yeah.
when you have a little bit of members, you're like,
Yeah.
can I give you a discount?
Yeah, for real though.
I'll give you a month free.
Something. But I think as you grow, especially as a salesman, just doing your job, that you kind of find, what works and what doesn't. I knew for me, I was a person before I owned a gym. I had 4 gym memberships because I like different vibes. So I had to always try to remember, don't take anything personal, but I always try to remember like what I would want if I just was like a consumer and not owning a gym. Because like that was a big struggle that I had for the longest, but not being able to take that constructive criticism. So I found out what works for me. And then you have some people like my front desk always joke, they say, well, of course you sold it, because you have sometimes where like they was like, you're the owner, so they wanted to talk to you. So I say, I understand that, but they've done a great job as far as, like that's another thing I've really like zoned in. Once I did the job myself, because at first, like looking at it as, the boss, I'm like, oh, you just sit at the front desk all day, but it's not as easy as it seems, because you might, like for instance, I usually run one person. So like for me, you might have to still sell, but you're in charge of how the gym is flowing too, as far as, just things that supplies, weights, everything like that. So being able to create systems and also showing them how to like sell is, man, that's everything. And then also just something as simple as a thing that hurts, and it still hurts me because I don't like to see y'all leave Redzone, but it happens. We always ask an exit question like, hey, I was just like, hey, what gym are you going to? Like I just asked a guy the other day, I was like, man, I hate you leaving. He was like, yeah, I'm just going to go check out another gym for a bit. And I was like, is anything could have done different? And he just simply said, no, I love the gym. He said, I just want a different, just want a different vibe. And we had one lady, like, for instance, one of our biggest drawbacks right now is we don't have locker rooms and showers. So she was like, man, I love the gym. I love this, but I need to come before work and I need to leave straight from here to work. And y'all do not have, I don't have showers or a locker room. So, and I understood that. So, and then sometimes, you might not even, everybody's not going to tell you that intel, but it hurts. And it hurts when you see everybody, it hurts when you see somebody leave, but ask those questions, because it could be the difference in keeping somebody, because, don't be scared of it. It could be something that you can improve on.
That might be the most valuable questions. Like, oh,
For
you're
real?
leaving? Please let me know why.
Just why is it, is it moving? And then, if it's moving or they don't want to say, that's fine. But, we still, I think another thing, I still feel like I only have 10 members, because I try to, and I don't know everybody by name, but I still want you to feel like, it's your home. So I still value, like I tell everybody, thank you. I still value everything coming down from a day pass all the way up to signing up for personal training, because people forget, like, I see it a lot now, especially with, like I say, this social media can get you lost.
What's up with that?
This social media can
What's
get you lost.
What's up with Instagram and gyms?
Yeah,
like, there's like this weird mystique with like, like a weird flashiness to it. What's up with that?
Yeah, I just tell people, I say, you got to come with it, but don't get lost, because if every single person leaves your gym, you are out of business. Like, that's what I got people that just stop in for free boot camp every week, but they might buy water, they might buy an energy drink. I appreciate it, because that dollar adds up. And one post, if they post a gym, we might get some more, but we might get some more followers. But to answer your question, like, you as gyms now, you got like that. It's a gym that opened up, I think it's in Philly, that Fusion gym. It's like a green gym. Got dang Lambos in the dang lobby. I say, sheesh.
Yeah, they feel like high-end luxury stores in the mall. Like, you have a mall, you have like the regular stores, and then you have like that section where it's like all the nice, expensive stuff.
I can tell you one thing. It keeps me on my toes. Like some people, I say you can either hate it or love it. I love it because I'm looking at these different gyms just within the city, and it keeps me on my toes. It wants me to elevate more. I talked to the owner, Roman Iron. I talked to the, Raw Gym. I don't think you went to Raw before. Rise. We talked to each other. Level 1. I talked to a lot of these owners, because also it helps you, communicate. And it's just like, we might send them members. I might know, like, for instance, I had somebody that moved out close to Galveston. My homeboy at Pico at Boss Athletics, I sent him to his gym. I was like, hey, I know you're not going to drive out here, but, we all, in a way, it's still business, but it's enough to go around. So I like having that network too. Even like, I just bought the last 3 pieces of equipment. I just bought from Roman iron.
Yeah. So it sounds like I was gonna ask you. I'm just gonna ask you.
Yeah.
Kind of know the answer already. So like, what do you think of your competition in that same vertical of like independent gym owner?
Yeah.
Like, are they? How do you view it? Like, is it your competition? Like, you just answered it, but like, what is your overall view on that? Like,
man, I tell you this. I go to a lot of gyms too, and I don't care. People, they ever like how you asked me when we came in. It's like, you working out or you scoping? So I'm doing both because you get this intel. You know, you go like, for instance, I went to, Christian Guzman. He's one of the GOATs in the game. I went to Alphaland. You know, everybody always has complaints about, oh, it's just a whole bunch of video guys, but clearly he's doing something right. You know, so what I'm getting at, yes, it's, it could, it's competition, and it's all fun. But also, I respect all these guys because they're, we are each raising the bar higher and higher. Like, I had a guy, I'm not gonna put him out there like that, but he was like, man, where did you order your lights from? I gotta get those lights. Now everybody has honeycomb lights, like just something like that. But I originally got that idea from Rise. Because I went over there for a photo shoot, and I looked, I say, ooh, this is nice. Noted. I said, I'm getting this one open my next gym. So and I give respect, to all those. I don't always just say like, oh, I did this, it's like I say, it's competition, but we helping each other elevate because you got like, especially the scene in Houston now is growing even more. And I use it as all motivation. Like if I see somebody, that's like my boy Pico out at Boss Athletics, he's opening up another gym, and I'm looking, I say, that's major. I'm looking at it, I was like, and it makes me work harder.
Yeah.
I might see, my boy David at Raw Gym, he's doing something. I was like, so it make you keep on your toes.
Yeah, I think
I like it. It's motivation.
You need the competition.
I love it. I love it, man.
Because at some point it started. Like it didn't. I feel like it was. Like what happened? Like it was chill. It was garage gyms.
Yeah.
Small, and then it just kept going.
I think especially, man, honestly, after COVID, even gyms were already getting pretty big. But after 2020, and I don't know if I just really started paying attention more, but the competition and the independent gyms became crazy. And I like to go to different gyms just to see what the vibe is. They might have something that's working that I might want to implement. Like we went to one of my staff members went to a gym, and they just had something as simple as a pre-workout bar. So like instead of say you forget your pre-workout, it was a great idea. I forgot the name of the gym. I wish I could shout them out. But anyways, they had different it's like going to a bar that had different pre-workouts. Cool. Yeah. You can buy your water and you buy a scoop. It's revenue. I think they were charging like $2 to $3 a scoop.
And it's helpful.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like the person that doesn't want to bring their pre-workout to work, I can get it from.
But I look at different systems too to see what works. Like my boy at Level 1 too, Ken, during the summertime, it's a garage gym. It's hot in that bad boy. But they were selling, instead of just selling the BCA like drinks you can mix together, it was literally a margarita machine that they just made the BCA drink a slushie. So they were selling BCA slushies after your workout. I'm like, dude, this is a genius. So it's different things you can get inspired by. Anybody in the gym game that say they haven't been inspired by another gym, you lying.
Yeah.
Because you definitely seen it somewhere. You have some innovators, like I always say, like for instance, like with Alphaland, just giving him, his credit. He was one of the first dudes. Like I remember when I first started watching Christian Guzman, like probably back it might be 2011. People used to remember we used to kind of like me, you, Mike, we would have like our little GoPro or something and like Lifetime, but people looked at you like if you had a tripod 10 years ago in the gym, you were like a weirdo. Yeah. Like people would look at you like this dude's full of himself. But so you got to give credit when it's due, and then people, have just kept on elevating that, and like I said, it's very motivating. It's one of the things that keeps on driving me. And then, you got to make sure you keep that quality to your members because you're going to lose them if you don't.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah. Cool, man. Well, what else? What else do you have on the table? I think, you've obviously, who knows? Like, I guess this is a good question, actually. Like, how far do you see yourself, like, staying in this business for how long? Do you see yourself, like, at some point starting something new?
Yeah.
And making that, is it always going to be the priority? These are hard questions to ask, obviously.
No, yeah.
But, if you had to zoom out and you thought, okay, I'll do this.
Well, the immediate, like as far as the goal I keep in mind is I want to have more than one Redzone. I want to be able to replicate that around the city. It'll be nice to have one, on the south side, closer, like, in the city. It'd be closer to have, nice to have multiple locations. However, I gotta always make sure, like right now, I feel like we just got like the home front dialed in. So with that being said, like my immediate goal, like I say, in the next, like for 5 years, just to make sure that like now, since we got it dialed in, make sure we have everything in place to where when that opportunity comes that we can open more than one Redzone. Because I would like to stay in the fitness business, and our main deal is, instead of just being like known as a gym, being known as a place to where you can come to just like become a better person, like as a whole, because that's what like fitness did for me. So I want to be able to replicate that to whoever needs it. That's what big, you're never going to have. I always tell people, I talk to a lot of people now that want to open gyms and all this kind of stuff. I tell people a lunge is a lunge, a squat is a squat, but you got to create a community and uplift people, because at the end of the day, they could easily just go down the street, but you have to make them stay. You have to give them that value, and that's what's going to keep those members and keep people coming in, because everybody can get a six-pack. I know people that got six-packs and look great, but, they still got, underlying stuff going on compared to, like, you building a good family community, and it'll keep on growing. You got to be in it for the right reasons. And I think that's why we've grown this much as far as Redzone from a short time, because my first gym, Apex, and Apex was in business from like 2016 to like 2019, and we were in the same building compared to like now. Every year since 2020, we've advanced, but it's by going by actual structure and actually, like I say, not just in it for the money or having the best equipment, but actually trying to help people one by one. Like those big transformations that you always see, they help out, because you literally like you might have added years on somebody's life, like as far as that. So in the next like 5 years, I want to have, more than, one location, but we're just taking it day by day, because we just got, like, call it headquarters. We just got that dialed in 100%. Thanks to your help too, because we still learning on the whole Google side, but it's been great. It's been great.
Do you have like certain things you read or listen to like on a weekly basis that you keep in touch with, or like what feeds you, if any, like that constant, because you can always learn, but how do you do that?
Man, I like a lot of people listen to him now, but one of my good friends, his girl got me a book about 2 years ago about Alex Hermanzi. Dude.
Oh yeah.
And I read his book, like the Gym Launch book, and I was like, man, it was like he was speaking directly to me, just like as far as just like structure and all that. So he's one of the dudes that I dang near listen to every podcast.
Yeah, if a video comes out.
If a video comes out. And then just like a couple of other things like that's not gym related, because I like to listen to different stuff that's just telling you just how, about service, and not just about sales, but just about service. So a lot of that, and then just my circle that I have around me. I got a couple of, some close friends that are doing like great. Like even like shout out to Mike. Mike is motivating. He's turned from holding the dang GoPro to traveling the world now. So like different things like that, I'll use that as motivation. And it's always good to talk to other entrepreneurs that have kind of been through the struggle, because to be honest, like even my AV company, they were the first people, like I don't know if you know the Empire, like
I've seen you post.
Yeah, like Jawan and Lilo, they own Empire. And they were some of the first people that I thought I was doing everything right. But like I said, having those people in your circle, it was like, hey, you don't have waivers? Like this 2017, it was like, you don't even have a street sign. You don't have like nothing. Like, so just like, like learning that on the job training. But the people around me, and then also that, Alex Hermanzi, I think I'm saying isn't probably butchering it, but y'all know what I'm talking about. Hermosi, yeah. But he's like a GOAT. And I like that he ventured off. He's not just talking about gyms anymore, but I read like his stuff a lot and listen to like his book. I think I read all his books 2 times, and that has really helped like as far as like separate a lot of things.
Yeah, that's why I like running in the mornings. It's like, yes, I'm running, but I'm also listening to something. I'm always listening to something. I don't know what it is.
I was listening to him this morning.
I'll jump in and out of different people, different channels, different topics, but I always thought like reading books is not so much what's in the book. I mean, yes, it is, but it's like that action of constantly trying to be on top of it, of like, okay, what can I do better? Like that is really the skill. It's
Yeah.
like you're just constantly asking the question, like day after day after day after day. You just don't stop. Because if you do, then you think everything's okay, and then stuff.
That's how I was. Like we were stagnant for a little bit. This is even in the new building. I give a reset, not even because I keep on referring to the old gym, but in the current building that I'm in now, I feel like we did good. And we were booming last summer, and then people got used to, because when you first open a gym, you have the hype. So I was like, okay, we're like June, July, August. I was like, oh,
done.
It just because I interviewed last August. Remember?
Is it really?
I think last
it was a couple months ago.
No, I interviewed with you last August, and I was like, we still were on the uprise, and then we got kind of stagnant. And I'm just like, what am I doing wrong? And my problem was I got kind of too, the hype had wore down. And I got too comfortable to where, I wasn't, doing what I was supposed to be doing. Not saying that I was failing, but just I got lax. My family, of course, but with the gym, like straight directly to the business is always the members always like are wanting more, want to improve. So why shouldn't I give it to them? So it's really like my motivator is like the community, the gym community we built is improving that community bit by bit, brick by brick. And also like really kind of, even with down to our staff, like really kind of honing in on the staff and like really making sure that they understand the mission. And when I say the mission, like we're all moving as one. And like recently we've been able to communicate with each other, like, even better since we hired a manager and they're on it. So moving as one, understanding what's on the agenda, and it's been great. But also you can, I always tell people this is the revenue part. You got to keep that revenue coming in. If you want to keep on doing all this and helping people, you can't let off the gas.
Yeah.
Because it takes money to make money. And when I say that, like I always tell people, we might even make a video on it. I can tell you how much this year alone I spent over right about $55,000 on equipment just since January. And that's like just like a Stairmaster, some leg pieces.
Couple pieces.
Yeah, some leg pieces. And then also, everybody loves lighting now. You got to have the aesthetics. And then also adding lights. Like we're always adding some kind of lights or opening up like an area at the gym. So like we spent a lot of money on the gym just like this year alone. And you can't be scared to, open up that pocketbook, but you got to do it smart.
So I was going to say, I think you're saying what I'm going to say about like, how do you not get lax? Because it's easy. Like you can get to a certain amount and you're like, if I don't hire more, if I don't buy more equipment, if I don't expand the gym, there's a way I could just live pretty decently and it'll be fine. But my question to like what makes me not lax is if you stay, I mean, for me, at least personally, I'm pretty sure you're the same. It's like, if it's lax for a while, like things are good, it just is kind of boring. Like, it's just like, okay, what do I do now? Like, there's still time in the day. What can I do? And for me to feel, like, motivated, unfortunately and fortunately, is like, it's risk. Like, okay, let me move from one place to a new place. Let me hire more. Let me upgrade my software.
Yeah.
And then you're like, okay, well, what I was making last month is definitely not going to be a good position to be in anymore. So how do I get to that? Like, it's just solving for X is what I call it. It's like, okay, for me to have this, to become this part of the journey, I have to be able to produce this. Okay, well, how do I get there? Mm-hmm. And then you just chip away.
Yep.
But to me, that's what keeps me going. It's like, okay, well, now what? It's just kind of like climbing, It's like, okay, I got here, now what? Well, just keep going.
No, for real. I was like, literally, that's the name of the game, because it's just simple. Also, I'm scared of staying stagnant. I don't want to be like, I don't want to look I'm 33 now. I don't want to be 38 and still like, okay, you still got this, you're still making this, you're still making that. Everything's the same. I'm scared of staying stagnant, and I don't want that to happen. I want to keep on being able to, improve as much as I can and see what other, and see, what opportunities open up, because even since, we've been here, a lot of great opportunities have opened up. So, and if I wouldn't have took that, good thing you talked about risk, to be honest, I say doing those first in the other building, the margins were great. But if I just would have stayed there, the most we could have ever had was just what we had. I was very comfortable, in another building as far as, financially, but I wasn't doing everything that I set out to do when I opened the gym. So I was like, I need a bigger space to help more. And that's why I keep on saying help, because
You're there to
yeah,
serve.
Yeah, I say everybody. It's more than just lifting weights with me. So, and my people actually like care.
Yeah.
So like, I want people to feel like that when they come, it's their home. So we're big on that.
And I will say, like, we're the same age. We're both 33. I will say, like, if I zoom out, right, like this period right now, like we're in it, dude. We are in that moment of like, oh, okay, that's where like you learn, you finally put things together, and it starts to grow. Like, you don't get that opportunity all the time. I mean,
not at all.
I tried when I was in my 20s.
Yeah.
I failed on 2 businesses, worked a million places. Nothing really caught on. But then, you know, enough experiences, you learn enough. Okay, you're more mature and stuff like that. Try again. Oh, okay. And I'm not saying, like, I've done, like, I'm not there, right? But, like, okay, so if I stick to it, keep reinvesting, keep learning, keep acquiring good clients, keep providing good services, between 33 and, I don't know, 37, like, I mean, it's endless, right? Like, you can't give it a timeline. You just keep doing every day what you're supposed to do. But I think we're in it, dude. Like, I don't think like we gotta capitalize on it.
I always tell people you're building, and when you're an entrepreneur and business owner, you gotta be willing to really sacrifice. So like, when you asked me, you said, I know you're frugal. I think you touched on it earlier. It's like, but what is your like not weak point, but like, have you just splurged and bought anything for you? The first since I opened Redzone, I just recently this year bought something for myself, which was a Corvette.
Nice.
And literally, that was after like to open this new building, like literally going down. Anybody else around me could see. I still have not bought since I made Redzone. Since I actually announced the expansion, I have not bought a pair of shoes in 3 years. Actually, like literally, I have not. Literally, the shoes I got on, my girlfriend bought me for Christmas. A couple of my like trainers that got me like great birthday gifts. And if y'all always see me in Crocs, I always wear Crocs. Yeah. I have not ever any Croc you have ever seen me in, I have not bought. So just anybody knew me, I wore Jordans all the time. So one, I gave up no shoes. I sold 3 of my cars, like even my business truck, because I had to make it work. I needed some equipment to like. That had to be there, like that you know, like the jungle, the 8-stack we had, the jungle gym lap pull down, all that. That's what when I sold my truck to buy that piece that's in the middle of the gym, sold the Lexus, that I went down to literally nothing. I didn't even have a car. I was driving my people, they'll know, I was driving a rental car around for like months before I even had a car. I went down to the bare bones, like building this gym. So what I'm getting at is you got to really be able to take those risks and sacrifice, and to be able to see it. Fast forward literally a year later, like, yeah, thank God. Have a car. I was able to buy one of my dream cars. But
yeah, you were telling me.
But literally,
you tell me, yeah.
That was the first thing I bought myself, like, on this whole journey that I just like. And that was a big, like, for me, that was because that was a big purchase, because I was like, I could take this money and go buy this, or I could go, just give myself something for once. And I remember it kind of just fell in my lap, and it was too good of a deal, and I had to just buy it. But that was the only thing. I still, like I say, even my clothes, shout out to Brotherhood, Kobe, literally, I didn't buy a single pair. Maybe in the last 3 years, I might have bought some clothes for the event, like if I was going somewhere. But, like, thank God for Brotherhood and me creating my own stuff, because if it ain't that, it wasn't getting bought. So you got to take those risks to get the rewards. And now I'm so glad I did, because the business has been very, very crazy, which when I say crazy, like very good, very good. So it's a blessing, but I'm still going to be frugal, because I ain't never going back down like that.
Yeah, definitely. It's a good thing to have, but cool, man. Well, it's been an hour. I think it was a solid session. Appreciate you coming by, man. I hope people learn. Obviously, go check out Redzone.
Come to the gym, best gym on the north. If y'all don't know what north is, it's north, but just with a little twang to it. So you're good.
Yeah, man. Appreciate it. Thanks for coming.
Yes, sir.